In Barbie's world, villains always seem to have big plans, but no matter how hard they try, they never stand a chance. The bad guys are defeated, the day is saved, and Barbie proves once again that doing the right thing always wins. So let's get into our favorite defeats from the Barbie cinematic universe. In Barbie in the Nutcracker, the Mouse King stages a coup, turning the Parthenians into stone statues. The Nutcracker confronts him once more, and during their battle, the Mouse King's own shrinking spell is reflected back at him. Reduced to the size of a real mouse, the tyrant is forced to flee into the sewers. With his defeat, the Parthenians are restored to normal. His evil spell is broken, and freedom is returned to the kingdom. In Barbie as Rapunzel, after Rapunzel's final attempt to reason with Gothel fails, she and Penelope trick Gothel and Otto into entering the portal, sending them back to the tower. Desperate, Gothel tries to undo her spell, but fails as her own words declare it unbreakable. Hugo, now free, appears and refuses to help Gothel, pointing out her hypocrisy. She trapped herself by lying for years, while Rapunzel escaped because she spoke the truth. As her spell's words echo around her, Gothel realizes her fate and collapses in shame, condemned to the tower forever. In Barbie of Swan Lake, Rothbart is stunned when the magic crystal turns bright pink, triggered by Daniel and Odette's act of true love. Overwhelmed by its power, Rothbart's reign ends as his manor collapses and the enchanted forest is restored. The Fairy Queen regains her powers, curses are lifted, and Daniel and Odette awaken safely, ready to marry. Rothbart is cursed into a cuckoo clock, while his daughter, Odile, is left to clean Erasmus's library. In Barbie as Princess and the Pauper, Preminger returns to the palace, falsely claims Annalisa is dead, and exposes Erica as an imposter, having her thrown into the dungeon. To convince Queen Genevieve, he pretends he found only Annalisa's ring and presents stolen gold, offering to save the kingdom if he is made king. Genevieve reluctantly agrees to marry him. However, Annalisa escapes and reveals Preminger's scheme just in time. Exposed, Preminger tries to flee, but his abused horse, Hervé, throws him off. He crashes into the wedding cake, the top tier landing on his head. In Barbie Fairytopia, determined to stop Laverna, Elena grabs Azura's necklace and recalls Dahlia's warning about the union point. Laverna's only weakness. Realizing the crystal is the key, Elena hurls the necklace at it. The crystal shatters, releasing the Guardian's magic, which swirls through the room and engulfs Laverna. Lifted off the ground, she vanishes, banished to the bogs of the hinterlands, and her reign of terror comes to an end. In Barbie and the Magic of the Pegasus, Wenlock's wand makes him nearly invincible. So Annika and her sister Brietta, who was turned into a flying horse after rejecting Wenlock, set out to find the Wand of Light, the only thing that can defeat him. Wenlock, tipped off by Ferris, catches up to them, steals the wand, and traps Annika under the ice dot. However, the sisters reclaim the Wand of Light and use it to defeat Wenlock. He is transformed into an old man, his griffin becomes a scrawny cat, and his wives, whom he had turned into trolls, are restored to their human forms. In Barbie Fairytopia Mermaidia, with Elena transformed into a mermaid, she and Nori successfully rescue Nalu. They trick the fungi into delivering a true self berry disguised with a red stripe to look like the immunity berry. When Laverna eats it, she is horrified to discover she's been turned into a toad. The fungi confess they were tricked by Elena and Nori after Nalu's escape. Furious at being outsmarted again, Laverna swears revenge on Elena.
Delicious.
In Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, Rowena, furious that Genevieve was turning the princesses against her, used her second wish to curse Genevieve to dance forever, except it backfired spectacularly. Genevieve fanned the magical flower's pollen back at Rowena. Suddenly, Rowena and her footmen were doomed to dance non-stop, pirouetting right out of King Randolph's castle, like they were in an eternal ballroom marathon. In Barbie Fairytopia, Magic of the Rainbow, Laverna demands the enchantress step down and enter a spell-proof chamber, threatening to destroy the first blush of spring if she doesn't comply. The enchantress agrees, but of course Laverna betrays her word and tries to destroy the blush anyway. Alina jumps in to stop her, but is quickly weakened. In a dazzling display, the other apprentices perform luminescence, sending beams of light into Alina. She absorbs their power, transforms into a radiant rainbow fairy, and fights back with fierce determination. With one final burst of magic, she reduces Laverna to nothing but fairy dust, vanquishing her once and for all. In Barbie as the island princess, Tallulah, fully recovered, exposes Ariana's scheme, and Luciana backs her up. Ariana frantically denies the accusations, but Ro challenges her to eat the wedding cake, something she can't do because she poisoned it with sunset herb. Luciana admits Ariana warned her not to touch it, and when her mice, Nat, Pat, and Matt, eat the cake and collapse, Ariana panics. She makes a desperate run for it, but is stopped by Ro and Tika, tumbling straight into the pig pen. In Barbie, Mariposa and her butterfly fairy friends, Mariposa watches in disbelief as Marabella is miraculously cured. Henna, sneering triumphantly, destroys the flower and taunts both Mariposa and the queen. Suddenly, a brilliant light bursts forth as Marabella awakens, forcing the Skeezites to retreat. Mariposa rushes to help the queen, while an irate Henna spits out one last threat before fleeing with her minions. In her haste, she crashes into something, lets out a startled scream, and vanishes, leaving her fate a mystery. In Barbie, in the Diamond Castle, Lydia traps Alexa by hypnotizing mansion residents, but Liana is kidnapped by Slider. In an attempt to end her, Lydia nearly sends Alexa into boiling liquid using the magic of her flute. But Melody reveals the Diamond Castle's location to save her. Liana and Alexa defeat Lydia at the castle, use music to turn her and Slider to stone, and free the muses. In Barbie, in A Christmas Carol, the Spirit of Christmas Future shows Eden a grim vision of her future, living in poverty while Catherine becomes a ruthless fashion designer. Determined to avoid this fate, Eden decides to change her ways and treat her workers with more kindness. The next morning, she frantically rushes to find gifts for them. When they arrive, she warmly greets her workers, giving them the rest of the holidays off. Her workers are thrilled by her transformation, and Catherine smiles, pleased to see her friend rediscover her Christmas spirit. In Barbie Presents Thumbelina, with the help of some birds and the Twillerbees, Myron's workers are tricked into thinking the field is haunted, causing them to flee. However, Myron, who's allergic to flowers and eager to finish his work, refuses to back down. McKenna and Thumbelina arrive just in time to delay him, allowing Evan and Vanessa to intervene and shut down the factory project. A group of birds chases Myron away, and McKenna's family watches as the Twillerbuds bloom. In Barbie and the Three Musketeers, on the rooftop, Philippe is ready to execute the prince, but Corinne bursts onto the scene, determined to stop him from seizing the throne. A fierce battle ensues between Philippe and Corinne, and despite Philippe's strength, he can't fully defeat Corinne. Just as Louis teeters on the edge of the rooftop, about to fall to his death, he manages to grab Corinne's sword. In the final moments, Corinne overpowers Philippe, sparing the prince from harm. As time runs out, Philippe and his henchmen are captured by Corinne and Louis, bringing an end to the threat. In Barbie, in A Mermaid Tale, Eris attempts to trap Merlia by sending her into a terrifying nightmare, but Merlia counters the attack, reflecting it back at Eris. The spell sends Eris flying out of the ruins and into a seaweed garden, leaving her dazed. The magic also breaks the spells on the Stargazers, the Ambassadors, and Calissa, who happily reunites with Merlia. When they check on Eris, they find that she now has human legs instead of a tail. Worse still, the spell has stripped her of all her magic. The ambassadors step in to ensure Eris is taken away to a much more secure prison, where she can no longer pose a threat to anyone. In Barbie, a fashion fairy tale, Jacqueline's fashion show goes awry when the Flairy's magic ruins the outfits, sending the audience flocking to Millicent's show across the street. Barbie dazzles in her new designs, and Glimmer showcases her talent by transforming Barbie's gown. Ken arrives, declares his love for Barbie, and the Flairies transform his clothes. A big order for Barbie's line allows Millicent to buy back the building. Jacqueline, feeling regretful, apologizes, and Millicent warmly agrees to collaborate with her in the future. In Barbie, A Fairy Secret, after Ken is freed and Princess Graciela finally snaps out of her love-crazed daze, she realizes Crystal's been the sneaky mastermind all along. As punishment for her royal-level mischief, Crystal is sentenced to clean the entire palace, right after the wedding reception, of course, because nothing says karma like scrubbing floors covered in cake crumbs and confetti. In Barbie Princess Charm School, an enraged Dame Devon berates Delancey and accidentally reveals her role in Queen Isabella's death. Realizing her confession was heard by everyone, both in the chapel and on live TV, she tries to backtrack, but the royal judge orders her arrest for her crimes. As the guards drag her away, Dame Devon screams in protest, demanding Delancey be crowned and vowing revenge.
You'll pay for this!
In Barbie and A Mermaid Tale 2, Merliah reaches the throne just in time, but fails since she's not in mermaid form. Kylie quickly hands her the necklace, completing the ceremony, which undoes all of Eris's spells and grants Merliah a new tail. When Eris tries to attack, Merliah reflects the spell back at her, turning Eris's tail into legs, her greatest fear. Defeated, Eris is arrested by the ambassadors and taken away. In Barbie Princess and the Pop Star, Kreider, desperate to get rich, schemes to marry Duchess Amelia, but instead decides to steal the diamond gardenia to fund his comeback concert. With help from his bumbling assistant Rupert, he knocks out the guards and attempts to escape by gliding in a special outfit. However, Kira and Tori sabotage his plan by transforming his outfit into a frilly blue tea party dress and a bright yellow wig. Humiliated, Kreider crashes into the palace gate and is promptly arrested. In Barbie in the Pink Shoes, the Snow Queen freezes Hailey into a statue and takes her back to her castle. When Kristen arrives to rescue her, the Queen uses her magic to control Hailey, forcing her to dance. Kristen demands she stop, but the Queen turns her power on Kristen instead. However, as Kristen begins dancing freely from her heart, breaking away from the choreography, the Queen's control weakens. Overwhelmed by Kristen's heartfelt dance, the Queen is ultimately destroyed. In Barbie, Mariposa and the Fairy Princess, King Regelius wants Gwillian destroyed, but Catania intervenes, reminding him that Gwillian only asked for one crystallite, which he refused. She forgives Gwillian and gives her a crystal necklace, knowing it won't harm Shimmervale. Gwillian transforms, becoming younger and more vibrant, grateful for the forgiveness. She leaves with Boris, changed by the gift. In Barbie and her sisters in a ponytail, Barbie and Majesty surge ahead after a jump, thanks to Majesty's exceptional skills. Philippe tries to reclaim the lead by hitting Hurricane, but Hurricane, fed up, stops suddenly. Philippe flies off and lands in a manure pile. Barbie and Majesty win, while Hurricane laughs at Philippe's mishap. Philippe argues with Etienne, but Bridget steps in, scolding him and sending him to his room. Philippe walks away, head hung low. In Barbie, the Pearl Princess, Lumina uses her pearl magic to trap Caligo in a swirling tornado of pearls. She then heals Scylla, who reveals that Caligo had ordered her to poison Nereus. Caligo protests, but Fergus believes Scylla and silences him by stuffing a plant in his mouth. Scylla also reveals that years ago, Caligo paid her to kill Lumina, but she couldn't and ended up raising her, revealing Lumina as the long-lost princess. In the final scene, Madame Ruckus grabs the still-trapped Caligo and sends him flying out of the castle doors. In Barbie and the Secret Door, Alexa attempts to reason with Malusha, offering her a deal to return everyone's powers. However, Malusha refuses and begins stealing the princess's magic. This causes her powers to backfire, causing an explosion that releases all the magic. When Malusha's parents return from their trip, she tries to deny her actions, but they quickly discover the truth and punish her by making her clean up the mess she created. In Barbie and Princess Power, the Baron causes an eruption from Mount Dormant, surrounding the tower with lava. Super Sparkle, with Dark Sparkle's help, prevents the lava from reaching the city and temporarily halts the Baron. Bruce aids the Baron, but Parker and Newton intervene, trapping both the Baron and Bruce in the panic room, putting an end to their plans. In Barbie Rock and Royals, after the performance, Allegra James and Prince Reginald struggle to pick a winner, as the camps perform together. Clive reminds Svetlana of the bribe, prompting her to vote for Camp Royalty as the winner. However, Lady Anne and Finn, now back together, override Svetlana's decision. In a dramatic twist, Clive admits to the bribe, and Courtney opens a hole in the stage, sending him plummeting down. Post-credits, Clive is pulled out of the hole, only to find that everyone has already left. In Barbie and her sisters and the Great Puppy Adventure, Joe and Marty, eager to make off with treasure, trigger a rock slide by touching a gold plaque in the vault, trapping themselves inside. Meanwhile, Taffy gets separated but manages to find a Willow's emblem outside, unlocking the vault door. The puppies tie up Joe and Marty, and the girls meet up with Grandma and the police. Joe and Marty are carted off to jail, while the girls generously donate the treasure to the city. In Barbie, Spy Squad, after his plan is thwarted, Dunbar is arrested, and Miss Z steps in to take him into custody. As he's led away, he rages and swears revenge on Barbie and her team for ruining everything. It's clear that his fate is sealed. Dunbar will likely be fired from the agency and face a lifetime behind bars for his crimes. In Barbie, Starlight Adventure, Constantine ignores Barbie's advice and activates his device, causing the stars to go out. Barbie restores their light with a dance, proving she's the one. On their way home, Constantine admits their differences and agrees to learn from each other. The film ends with Barbie, now Princess Starlight, teaching Constantine how to dance at a rave. In Barbie, Dolphin Magic, Marlo and Hugo take off in their helicopter, determined to track down Isla and the dolphins. Isla gives Barbie a magical shell that sends out a signal and instructs her to navigate through the tunnels to safety. When Marlo and Hugo spot them escaping, they chase them. Barbie and Isla split up, but Barbie ends up captured in Isla's place. Confronting Marlo, Barbie points out that a real marine biologist would protect animals, not exploit them for profit. In Barbie, Princess Adventure, Johann accuses Barbie of being a fraud, but the crowd is stunned when Barbie and Amelia appear together. Amelia declares Johann is trying to steal Floravia's throne, and she's ready to rule. Johann weakly protests, she's late and dressed too casually, but Amelia shuts him down, claiming her rightful place. Johann is arrested, and Amelia is crowned queen as the crowd cheers. In Barbie, Big City, Big Dreams, Dean Morrison expels Malibu for allegedly sabotaging Brooklyn, based on a witness's claim. Heartbroken, Brooklyn ends their friendship. Rafa and Emmy discover the witness is Mr. Miller, Emmy's father. Emmy confronts him, while Rafa sends a class recording to Brooklyn. Brooklyn shows the video to Dean Morrison, revealing the truth. In Barbie, Mermaid Power, Trapped Under Debris, Barbie asks Marlo for help. Remembering her grandmother's words, Marlo places the tiara on Barbie, awakening her water powers and allowing her to escape. They join the merfolk at the Island of Trash, where Aquaria, the new power keeper, leads them in destroying it. Corelia reminds Marlo that her place is on land and advises her to respect the sea, a promise Marlo readily makes. At the end of the day, Barbie's villains remind us that no amount of scheming or power-hungry plans can stand up to courage, kindness, and a little bit of magic. Whether they're banished, reformed, or simply outsmarted, these baddies always learn the hard way that being good really does pay off. That's the end of our adventure, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in our next adventure.